Well, my name is Sharlane King, and we're in Anchorage, Alaska at the Alaska Native Heritage Center. And I'm tired because I just got back from a 4-day competition called the World Eskimo Indian Olympics. The World Eskimo Indian Olympics is a 4-day competition in Fairbanks. It's usually in Fairbanks, sometimes they have it here. But they have it to keep the tradition alive and to show people what the games are like. I competed in the 1-arm reach, the 1-foot high kick, 2-foot high kick, Alaskan high kick, knuckle hop, kneel jump, and scissor broad jump. So that's 7 events. Well, I'm Macaw from Nia Bay, Washington, the most northwestern town in the continental United States. Coming here, I learned a lot about Alaska Natives and what they do and how they do things, and I learned that the Tlingit people of Southeast Alaska actually have a lot in common with my people. And because I learned so much about them, I started going home and asking my mom, like, oh, do we do this or do we do that? And I started learning a whole lot about my culture even. So it's like learning about them made me want to learn about myself. I think any kind of culture is very, very unique. Like, there's always something different to every culture, and just learning about all these cultures really made me realize that I have a passion for this kind of stuff, and just any culture, like even cultures you wouldn't really think about. Before this, I didn't really know anything about my own culture, and I learned a lot about mine through learning about theirs. And I do the games and I work here because I feel that culture is a very important thing, and I feel like it should be kept alive because it's interesting to how many other people I've seen, how many people walk by so far. So apparently there's an interest. Just keeping it alive, I think, is very important because you always want to know where you came from or what your ancestors went through to get to where they are, to where you are now. It's always important to know where you came from. Ignorance is a really big thing, and most people have really negative stereotypes about Native people in general. And I feel that teaching them more about the background would maybe lift some of the stereotypes that they have. And just teaching people. Like, most people think that only Eskimos live in Alaska. That's definitely not true. We got a lot of Indians up here, actually. Indians, Eskimos. Eskimo is not even an Alaska Native word. It's a French-Canadian word meaning eater of raw meat. So, and Indian is something that Columbus made up a long time ago. So, but there's lots of differences. A lot of people come up here thinking that all the natives are the same. We're not. There's lots of us. You learn more about it, and it's like, whoa, these people are amazing. You know, they had to live through all the ice ages. They had to walk everywhere. They had to boat, pull themselves in a canoe or in a kayak. You know, no cell phones. Couldn't have no long distance boyfriends like we have now. You know, none of this text message breakup. Everything is different back then. There was no technology. You had to deal with your own problems. You had to bring back stuff. You had to be responsible. I feel like learning about culture made me more responsible because it gave me more respect for my ancestors and all the stuff that they had to go through to get to just to live. You know, I think if more kids learned about that, we would definitely have more responsible kids, because I don't know, it's a respect thing. Like, I really, really just respect my ancestors a lot, and anybody that even keeps their culture alive, anybody. I think culture's amazing. I think this place is amazing. I love it here. In Nia Bay, I found that a lot of the control isn't really done by Native people, and if it is done by Native people, it's with influence from outside people, and it's not really. It's not good. It's not good because a lot of the cultural things that we have going on are being disrupted. Like, we have our celebration Macaw Days every year, right around the 3rd week of August, and they're trying to move it to the week after that. And it's been the 3rd week of August forever, and they're trying to move it for a fair, and that doesn't make any sense to me. You can have a fair at any time of the year. why don't you move the fair, you know? I think being on tribal council, I would be able to maximize the potential that Neah Bay has. Like, we have a really cool culture, we have a really good museum, but most of the people that are there, like, they don't really have any control over what they do with their information. Like, you have to wait to come in. I feel like if I was there, I could make it more like this place. Like, because I feel like here at the Heritage Center, people learn a whole lot more. Because at a regular museum, you know, you're looking at stuff behind glass or listening to somebody talk. But here, it's like somebody's talking, you see dancing, you see the games, you come outside, you can touch whatever you want, you know? And I feel like it makes it easier to learn. This fall, I'm going to start college at University of Alaska Fairbanks, and I'm hoping that I'm going to get my bachelor's degree in rural development, and I want to be able to take what I learn in those classes and in those courses back home to Neah Bay, and maybe make that a better place for the people that are living there, maybe even up here too. Well, I think that if they come here and they see that the Native people actually care about their culture, that they're not always drunk or they're not always messed up or something, like the way that people, I don't know why, but a lot of people just have really negative stereotypes about Natives. And I feel like working here would probably break the stereotype because they're here, they're teaching people, they do know something, they can do something with their lives. And I feel like that's what we're doing here.